National Fisherman Live. I'm Leslie Taylor. Here's some recent fishing news from around the coasts. The North Pacific Fishery Management Council unanimously voted to make changes to the Marine Observer Program. In the 2015 annual deployment plan, commercial fishing vessels between 40 and 57.5 feet in length will carry marine observers to count and sample catch on a trip-by-trip basis, according to the Alaska Journal of Commerce. In previous years, smaller vessels carried an observer for 60 days at a time, which they said was an undue burden. NOAA staff said that changing to the trip selection pool will help adjust the costs and meet the target coverage rate of 12% for smaller vessels and 24% coverage for larger vessels. The Council also recommended that if a small vessel is selected twice and doesn't have life raft space or bunk space, it can receive a conditional release for the third trip. Also, they proposed that vessels participating in the Electronic Monitoring Program project not be subject to observer coverage. And in Bristol Bay, the red king crab season, which gets underway October 15th, is set for another quota increase, rising 14% from 8.6 million pounds last season to 10 million pounds this year, including 10% for community development quotas, according to the Homer News. This is the second year in a row the quota has been raised. The quota was up 9% last year from 7.8 million pounds. In Massachusetts, fishermen off the coast of Cape Ann report that it's a great year for bluefin tuna. Patrick Mead, owner of the Compass Seafood, told the Gloucester Times that it's been probably 9 or 10 years since he's seen a run like this. Mead estimated that he's processing 15 to 20 giant bluefin tunas a day, ranging in size from 200 pounds to 600 pounds. Mark Lodge of the Gloucester fishing boat Tight Lines caught a tuna weighing 644 pounds dressed, according to the Gloucester Times. Earlier this month, the Mississippi River Conference held in Moline, Illinois, focused on cleanup of the dead zone in the Gulf of Mexico. The dead zone is the area in the Gulf of Mexico off the Louisiana and Texas coasts where bottom or near bottom water has oxygen levels too low to support most marine life. This phenomenon was first observed by shrimp fishermen in the 1950s, and scientists began studying it in the 70s. Matt Rhoda, the senior policy director for the Gulf Restoration Network based in New Orleans, was the keynote speaker at the conference. He told the Quad City Times that the dead zone, which is estimated to cover 9,000 square miles, is unlikely to go away until regulations are enacted to curtail farm field runoff of nitrogen fertilizers. And in Atlantic Canada, fishermen are at loggerheads over how big a lobster's carapace must be for a lobster to be harvested. According to the Wall Street Journal, fishermen in Prince Edward Island are fighting to keep the minimum shell size at 72 millimeters, or about 2.8 inches, while their counterparts in New Brunswick would like to see the minimum shell size raised as much as 10 millimeters. Prince Edward Island's fishermen focus on canner lobsters, younger and smaller lobsters that are prized for their sweet taste and sought after by customers such as casinos and cruise ships. Meanwhile, New Brunswick fishermen say their customers prefer larger, older lobsters that bring in $3.75 Canadian per pound, 50 cents more than canners. Last year, when the minimum harvesting size of lobsters increased from 71 to 72 millimeter carapaces, Prince Edward Island fishermen say their catch was reduced by about 15 to 25%, the Wall Street Journal reported. Tensions on the issue run high. In March, New Brunswick fishermen boycotted an industry meeting after they were unable to add the issue of minimum harvest size to the agenda. For more commercial fishing news and analysis, subscribe to National Fisherman magazine, visit our website at www.nationalfisherman.com, or subscribe to our twice-weekly e-newsletter. For National Fisherman Live, I'm Leslie Taylor.